Hey everyone, welcome back to Bird Talk with Terrence Mathis. I'm William Brandon. Please make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel Atlanta Sports Unlimited and turn on those notifications so you don't miss an episode. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks, the simplest sports fantasy game on the market. You can pick from multiple sports like Trae Young in tonight's playoff game or even a player from the Atlanta Braves. And get this, if you sign up using the code ASU, they will 100% match your initial offer up to $100. Download the app at the Google Play Store or the App Store. Well, we've been away for a few weeks, and
Yes.
the Falcons have slowly been creating the Chicago Bears of the South, or at least it appears that way with the recent signings. Am I hitting it on the head, or is it not? Just seems
Well,
like ever since we signed those player personnel from the Bears, we've been acquiring a lot of those guys.
that has been the perception.
Mm-hmm.
And now you trying, for me, who is the GM now?
Mm-hmm.
Is it Pace? Who's the GM now?
Yeah.
Because here's the thing about free agency. Usually you try to find a guy that can help you right away, that can fill a hole, and that may not cost you a lot of money. Now, sometimes you can hit a home run on a guy and pay him some money that's going to be that franchise difference maker. But so far, what we have done, and no disrespect to you guys who we signed, there's no disrespect whatsoever.
Yeah.
But at the same token, as I know, that you have not reached your potential yet. And I think that's what we're signing is guys who have not yet reached their potential, and maybe they will here in Atlanta. So no disrespect to you, and I'm not saying you shouldn't be here, but the thing is that we're grabbing guys that are not proven yet in the NFL. Does that make sense?
No, it definitely makes sense. We haven't really done any type of splash making news since we traded Matt Ryan, and it's just been kind of, it seemed like since then. So,
Well, we've done some good things. I think we've done some good things defensively. I think the defensive side of the ball has filled some holes that they need to fill holes at. You got your corner on the other side of Terrell. You got an edge rusher from the Giants. You got a linebacker from the Titans. So you did some good things there. But there's still some holes that needs to be plugged. You talking about the Chicago Bears of the South, but I think we're becoming even the Detroit Lions of the South because we're signing guys from Detroit. Here's the thing, and again, fans, players, there's no disrespect here to you whatsoever. I'm just stating that here's the thing. I am so happy that you got a job and you're getting paid and you get a chance to do things that you want to do. And this is nothing about you. There's nothing against you. But you have something to prove.
yeah.
This is not just I'm playing for the Atlanta Falcons and I'm collecting a check. You come in here because we're expecting you to help us win football games. And if that's not the reason why you're here, if you're just happy to have a logo on and be a dirty bird and play in this nice stadium, look, man, you need to find another place to play because we're here to win football games. And the thing is, obviously, this organization thinks you can play and help us win football games.
Mm-hmm.
So prove it, and just prove it to me.
Yeah, some of the recent free agent signings since the last time we were on. I mean, we actually had, and we did re-sign a couple of people that we needed to keep. We kept Quadri Olison. We were able to re-sign him. We added some wide receiver, Auden Tate, since we've been off. Defensive back, Dean Marlowe. Linebacker, Bo Brinkley. Some people may be familiar with that name. Wide receiver, Demir Bird. And as you said, Rashawn Evans, the linebacker from Tennessee. Offensive lineman, Jermaine Ifedi. Cornerback Mike Ford, and recently a tight end Anthony Fiersker. And like you're saying, I know what a lot of people are going to think is, who are those guys? But as you said, there's no disrespect to them. It's just they haven't built up enough body of work at this time that people can grasp a hold of. So
Right.
they're going to, like you say, they're going to have to prove themselves. And a lot of times, as you spoke about before, those type of guys have a lot of heart and a lot of will to try to prove themselves because they
Right.
feel like maybe they've been getting a
Right.
shorthand or so to
Right.
speak.
Right. Right.
I'm hoping we can find some diamonds in these guys,
Right.
but we haven't made those free agency splashes that we thought we might saw in those coming weeks.
And you know what? It's all good because at the end of the day, um, we're rebuilding, right?
Mhm. Or what was the word?
Retooling. We're
Retooling.
retooling. Yeah, because you tell me we rebuilding, get me out of here now.
Mhm.
If you say we rebuilding, what? I don't want to be a brick in your rebuild process. Come on, man. I want to be already in the building, sitting at the table while the building is already built. So, and then you have the draft coming up. And here's the thing right now about the draft is there enough there in the draft that will make us better?
Yeah.
Um, Picking at number 8 with that number 8 pick with that guy be the difference maker on either side of the ball right now.
Mhm.
Right now is that guy there? And I don't know. I don't know. I don't know
And
what they're thinking. There's so many guys they bring in and out on visits whatsoever. So I don't really know what they're thinking. Um, here's the thing. Uh, right now, you don't have a difference maker at the wide receiver position.
Mhm.
You don't have a dude. You don't
No.
have a receiver one. You don't have one of those guys.
Mhm.
You're gonna have to go get one of those guys in the draft. And I don't think I would go reach as far as number 8 to get one. As you're gonna see next week, I'm gonna do some things to get out of that number 8 pick to get us more picks. Whatsoever, you're gonna like my mock draft. But there's some dudes in this draft that can be different makers in at the wide receiver position when you got Kyle Pitts, and then you sign one of these big time uh, guys in the draft, and then you got Zacchaeus coming back, you got your Bird, and there's other guys in this draft that can come in and help us later in rounds.
Mhm.
So wide receiver is a big position that's needed. Edge rusher.
Yeah.
Everybody's looking at the top 3, top 4 edge rushers that's coming out, but there's some guys that are sitting there that are really, really good football players, and I'm gonna expose you to them next week. There's a guy. I'm gonna spill the beans.
Here you go.
There's a guy in at Ole Miss, Sam Williams.
Mhm.
Sam Williams is one of the most obnoxious, disruptive pass rushers I have seen in a long, long time.
Mhm.
Because he goes 100 miles per hour and he pisses off offensive linemen. How do I know that? I was in the
Senior Bowl.
NFLPA
I mean, the
Collegiate Bowl,
NFLPA Collegiate
and I
Bowl.
seen him. And you talking about a guy that has long arms and length and speed, dude? He would hit you.
Mhm.
He would knock the snot out of you. There's a guy there. I mean, there's so many guys in this
Yeah, let's
draft
save your draft now.
but that's my diamond in the rough. That's the one I like. That's the one that everybody gonna say, ooh, that's the one that every once in a while gonna get that personal foul because he hit the quarterback a tad bit too late. But that helps you because now the quarterback going, ooh, that hurt.
Yeah.
Now he's looking. Oh, is he coming? That's that guy. That's that guy.
Well, let me ask you, because like I said, we're going to save your draft till next week. And in recent and last year, and even in the past, you spoke about maybe sometimes trading back. And I don't want you to go in it too much, but if you are considering trading back from that number 8 pick, does that mean that you're willing to pass up on a QB this year and maybe take one next year?
Yes. Yes. Or you might look up and find one sitting there at the number 43 pick.
Well, would you take, just flat out, would you take Malik Willis at 8 or one of the other quarterbacks at 8?
Somebody asked me that question last week, and I said, this is what probably the Falcons do. They'll draft Malik Willis, and on the same night trade him to the Pittsburgh Steelers for Mitch Trubisky, a former Chicago Bear quarterback.
Oh, goodness gracious. My head would explode if that happened. No.
I said they'd do something like that. We're drafting for you, but we'll trade for Mitch Trubisky. Come on, man. I'm just saying there's a possibility. But here's the thing, and we talked about this last year when we talked about Justin Fields and some of the other quarterbacks coming out. Here's the thing. The Falcons said they're rebuilding. Okay. They're in rebuild mode, retooling mode. You draft Malik Willis at number 8, he's going to have to play day one. He's going to have his ups and downs because right now you don't have the pieces around him yet. Mm-hmm. You have some for him to be successful. Now you're going to need another running back. I'm telling you now, you're going to need a big bruiser running back. You're going to need one of those guys, and there's a couple of them in this draft. Offensive line going to be okay. You're going to have to shore up the middle a little bit offensive line wise, and I don't think a rookie can come in and do that right away. And I'm surprised we didn't go out and get one of those all Pro Bowl type center guard combination guys. I'm surprised we didn't do that. Sooner or later, you're going to have to get another offensive tackle. Jake Matthews can't play forever.
Yeah.
So, and then you have Kyle Pitts, but you don't have the danger that you need on the outside when you have a quarterback like this. And the thing is, you're going to have a pretty good defense that's going to give you the ball enough where you're going to be able to do things. But as we know, what we are offensively, scheme-wise, we need some growth, and we need to get better there. So, it'll be tough to, I can see it happening because here's the thing. Arthur Smith wants to be RPO, read option type with his quarterbacks, which got Mariota hurt in Tennessee the first time. That's what got him hurt the first time, and he lost his job. So I hope they don't draft the kid so he can be that kind of guy and get him hurt. And what I say, here's the thing I say about those type of offense, and people always go, well, here's the thing. There's two reasons why you run an RPO and a read option type offense.
Yeah.
It's because your quarterback is not that talented, or you're not creative offensively as a coordinator. That's the only one of the two reasons why you do that. So I don't know.
So speaking of RPO type quarterbacks, and I'm sure you've heard the rumors as well, and I don't like to address them all the time, but I saw it floating around with multiple platforms. Kyler Murray, I saw with the Falcons. Would you would you make a trade for a guy like Kyler Murray? Or
you have the money for it? You see,
yeah, because he's going to want a new deal. He's going to want a new mega deal.
See, here's the thing. If you do that, you've been lying to us for the last 2 years that you say you don't have any money, you can't maneuver any money around if you do that deal, which would be a great deal if they do that, because here's a guy that is mobile. Here's a guy that has proven himself in the NFL, has been to the playoffs, has played at a high level, and can get himself out of trouble when there's pressure. Mm-hmm. So now you got a guy who's been in the league for going to be on 3 years now, that is capable of winning you a whole lot of football games by himself. Yeah. So yeah, I would if the Cardinals called and says, hey, we'll trade Kyler Murray for your number 8, Your number 8, we want your first round and your second round pick of this year. I give it to him. I give it to him. I would. I would give it to
Now,
him
what if they
because
ask for one more first, like a future year first?
I do it. If they ask for this year's first and next year's first, I do it.
Okay.
Because you got to understand is this uh it's hit and miss in the first round. You see what I'm saying? Because
Yeah,
if
definitely.
so if you're able to maneuver next year and says, hey, I give you a second and a third and a player for your first round,
Mhm.
you can do it because you got some assets sitting there that's going to cost you a lot of money next year that you maybe be able to do that with.
Mm.
So you got to be creative. You got to think ahead. You can't just think of day by day. You got to think ahead. So yeah, I would do the Kyler Murray thing, and I would give up the first rounder this year and next year, and then I will find a way to get back into the first round next year.
Do you think the way the defense is currently constructed, they can be a top 15 defense, or we're going to have to add a couple more pieces?
I think you need a safety. I
Mhm.
think you need one more safety, but I think far as corners, linebackers, defensive linemen, and when people say we want an edge rusher, everybody want a guy that can get 20 sacks. I only want a guy that get double digit, but he double digit in quarterback hits.
Yeah, and
You know
hurries.
what I'm
No,
saying?
yeah.
Or double digit in quarterback pressures. Now that almost equates to 30 sacks, pretty much when you say
Yeah.
that, when you put it that way. So I want that guy. And if we can find a guy that can do that for us, we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Yeah, I have been seeing on a lot of mock drafts that people are picking Falcons. Excuse me, they have the Falcons picking a wide receiver at 8, and I do think we do have to address that if in the first 2 rounds, without question, because otherwise Kyle Pitts is going to have
Double
he's going to
coverage.
see double coverage.
All right.
I mean,
Well, we went out in free agency and got the rusher, the edge rusher from the Giants.
mhm.
Now that takes away. Now you save money from getting one in the 8th pick. But like you said, we haven't addressed the wide receiver position yet.
Mhm.
I mean, we signed a bunch of guys, but we haven't signed wide receiver 1 yet.
Do you happen to know what may be going on, or why Frank Darby can't advance up the depth chart?
I don't know. I don't know. I wish I knew that because he was one of the guys, was in my mock draft last year, and I
Yeah.
talked highly about him, thought that he would get a chance to play right away. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I wish I was in that meeting room, but as you see, they didn't hire me as a receiver coach, and I won't get on that part of the receiver room uh, because
Well,
I think
I'll just say that they've got a quarterback coaching the receivers.
yeah. Well,
And
here's
me personally, not you, but
yeah,
me,
yeah.
I'm saying I don't think that's.
But what I've seen over the last 2 years is that position with this current regime,
Mhm.
most disrespected position in it ever in Falcon history.
Yeah.
And it's sad to see how from Alfred Jenkins, Alfred Jackson to Andre Rison, all the way down to
Mhm.
Roddy,
Yeah.
Mike Jenkins, to Julio, Tony Martin, myself, and all those guys. We've had this list of guys that has been all pro or been to the Pro Bowl to where we are today. And that's just unheard of for this organization because if you was a wide receiver and a free agent, you wanted to come to Atlanta because you knew you was gonna go at least to the Pro Bowl, catch a lot of balls, and maybe you're all pro. And now it's like that position has been obsolete and disrespected.
Yeah, I can't think back to a time when we didn't have a big name number 1
Right.
In Atlanta. So
Yeah.
it is, and even maybe even we're without a 2. So
Yeah.
it's
It's it's shaky situation right now. We got to get better. That room has to get better.
Are how we currently stand? Are you optimistic about the season at all?
And I'm glad you said currently,
Currently,
as like right now.
right now, how the Falcons stand?
I'm not optimistic at all.
Yeah.
I can't be, for what we did in free agency and how we finished last year, how we went into the off season. Um, I just can't be optimistic. And the thing is maybe the draft would change my whole perception of everything. But right now, you know, I I don't I don't know how we compete for a
Mhm.
division right now. I just don't know. I don't see how it all comes together because usually when you see things done, they're done in pieces where you say, "Oh, I can." It's like a puzzle. When you start putting the puzzle together, you start seeing the picture.
Yeah.
You know, right now we just got a lot of end pieces of
Hmm.
the puzzle. We ain't had nothing that's showing us the picture of what we're gonna be like yet. So right now, I'm not optimistic.
The off-season, voluntary off-season workouts began today. Is it a big deal or no deal if a guy doesn't show up for voluntary?
Um,
And not saying that we have any big names that
yeah,
didn't, because
it's a big deal when you don't show up. Um, especially especially when you didn't win last year. If you didn't win, didn't get to the playoffs whatsoever, didn't have a winning season, and you don't show up to an off season workout, it looks bad.
Mhm.
It looks like you're a me person. And I get it when you win and your market value goes up and you want a new deal. That's understandable. Players understand that.
Yeah.
Players under, Trust me, the players understand. It doesn't bother the players one bit. The
Mhm.
coaches, it may bother them. Management, it may bother them, but it doesn't bother the players one bit because at the end of the day, we know that coaches, you're gonna do what you have to do because if a job comes up next year, you're going. If a job comes up right now, you're going.
Mhm. Exactly.
Front office, if a bigger job, bigger position comes open, you're going. You know, and still gonna get your contract.
Mhm.
But we as players, we got to get what we can as early as we can before our time runs out. When that window closes and we can't get the money that our market value is now, we sitting there. And plus, the factor of you see how guys get hurt in this off-season programs and
Mhm.
OTAs and mini camps whatsoever. So get your money, man. When you can, get your money.
Speaking of getting the money, cornerback Denzel Ward of Cleveland got his money, and I'm starting to see a trend now, which is a good trend, that NFL players are finally getting a large, substantial amount of money
Yeah.
guaranteed.
Yes.
Should the Falcons go ahead and try to wrap up AJ Terrell, because it's going to only get bigger? I'm thinking the dollar amount's only going to get bigger for him.
What's this? I think after this year they will.
Okay, yeah.
I think after this year they will. If they don't, he gonna walk. Don't let him get away. Yeah, we let him get away. You know what?
Don't say it. Just save it.
Okay, I say it. I say it.
What you got for us to end the show, T?
Um, you know what? I don't have much today. Uh, First of all, I want to say condolences out to you and your family for the loss of your mother. Um, I know how that feels. It's going to be 3 years since my mom passed, and coming this July. So I have sympathy and empathy for you, my brother, and
Thank you.
and that's that's the thing that here's how I want to end this. We hate so many things in society today. We comment on so many things in society today. We fight about so many things in society today. But what you need to be doing is love the people that's around you, love the people that love you, and you can't worry about that big circle out there. And if you don't put yourselves in situation to be criticized or to be talked about, then you have nothing to worry about.
Mhm.
And I'm just talking about all you social media fanatics. You know, if you want the attention, that's fine. But at the same time, those who give them attention in a negative, harmful, disrespectful way, how does that make you feel once you turn off your computer?
Mhm.
Or once you turn off your phone, does it make you feel good? Does it do anything for you? Do you get taller? Do you get more money in your bank account? Are you going to heaven quicker because of it? No, you're not. So at the end of the day, treat your brother like a brother and love him. That's one of the first things God said to us. Love one another as I love you. And if we can do that, man, oof, I mean, man, imagine. It was it's so funny. I was debating on coming off of social media. I was going to turn off all my accounts because of all the rhetoric and all the mess that's on them, and it's disheartening. Because what's disheartening to me, but I'm keep doing it because on my Twitter every morning over the last couple of days, a few days or so, I've been putting a Bible scripture,
Yeah.
and you like it,
Mhm.
but there's never more than 10 people who like
Mhm.
it when I put it. And there's never more than 200 impressions when I put it. And I did something a while back. So I put up a picture of me on there. There was more likes of me playing football than me loving God. That's that's not who we are, people. That's not who we are. That's not who we are. God first. God first. And then whatever else, God, family, and whatever else happens, health, work, football, whatever it is, but God and family first. That's what you need to be loving and liking on
Mhm.
social media instead of all this other nonsense that don't even matter. They don't even have nothing to do with you. So I'm gonna leave it at that.
Well, thank you for your kind comments and your
Yeah,
prayers.
yeah,
And yeah, I can just say wholeheartedly, you just never know when you're called home. So
yeah,
every inclement, every minute, every conversation, all
yeah,
of that stuff is so important. So you want to make sure that there's compassion and love with every time that you spend with one another, because you never know. You just
yeah.
never
You
know.
never know.
And you want that last interaction to be a pleasant one. You
Yes,
definitely do.
yes, for sure.
I hope everyone has a great day. Remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel Atlanta Sports Unlimited. Stay safe, everyone. Bye bye.